The green flies for Kyle Kirkwood. Let's go.
Soften your front bar.
The order's already coming from pit lane. Soften your front bar. We're going to be hearing a lot about adjustments in the cockpit throughout today as drivers battle conditions on track, tire wear, the balance shifting end to end, lap to lap.
Softer front bar.
More calls for softer front bar, Townsend.
So they are getting information on the timing stand to suggest that Kyle Kirkwood is dealing with understeer even at the start of this run. So with the conditions ideal, the concept here is wide open throttle, but then take every bit of scrub out of the tires, whether that's at the front or the back of the car. Try to keep those Firestones rolling, not sliding, and take any drag out of the equation as Kirkwood goes to 32.9 on lap 1.
That's a good start. All right, out of turn 4. Here we go. The run to the yard of bricks, the first of 34 attempts, and everybody is watching. They want to see what the marker is to chase, and Kyle Kirkwood of Andretti Global has a final lap of 2:32.5, super consistent, and the 4-lap average is 232.7 miles an hour.
As McLaughlin goes through 33.299, again, very consistent as he starts lap 4, but the balance just looks very predictable, confidence inspiring for Team Penske across all 3 of their cars.
That cloud cover's burned off. You see that the sun's already brighter. The track's already got up a degree from when he started. That's how precise you have to be with this. And 1 corner to go for McLaughlin.
It's a huge honor for him to drive the yellow submarine, the Pennzoil Chevy, and it's going to be Scotty Mack and the Thirsty Threes that set the pace with a 4-lap average of 233.33 miles an hour. There's wife Carly.
Harry Hart's 6 races, average start of 2.5, 2.5.
Oh no, Rinus VeeKay!
Back in, got away, sliding across the track into the safer barrier. And a hot lap going through that corner.
Yeah, fine.
And the left side of that race car is destroyed.
Head understeer, previous lap.
Looks a lot like what happened to rookie Nolan Siegel yesterday. Loose in the middle, catches it, and then walks up the track to where the grip drops off dramatically and then turns around. And imagine, guys, you're going 238 into that corner.
Ugh. And while all these guys are competitors, they care about each other's health and welfare. They never want to see anything like that happen. So at the moment, he's sitting on a 233.9 mile an hour average lap speed. Lap 3 here is going to tell us a little bit more of that story. Where is it? 233.6. So those middle 2 laps, great consistency.
Absolutely. Just 0.4 of a mile an hour down on lap 3, just like teammate McLaughlin, but just a tick quicker across the board.
And given the rise in track temp, 103 degrees, a solid 10 degrees higher than when Scotty Mack did that first run of the day. And it is tracking very nicely for Will Power to provisionally put himself atop the pylon.
Here we go. Nobody brings the speed better than Will Power and that Verizon Chevy, and here we go. Power to the top.
Great run, pal. P1.
233.7 miles an hour. It's important that we show you that gentleman there, Jonathan Duguid, who has come over from the sports car program from Porsche Penske Motorsport, because that's a new voice in Joseph Newgarden's ears in his helmet. For so long, it has been Tim Cindric, the president of Team Penske. Remember, there's been 4 personnel suspensions after the team was found outside the rules at the season opener at St. Pete. Joseph won that race but was disqualified, and that internal team suspension is for 2 races. It was the Soncio Grand Prix last weekend and the Indianapolis 500. So no Tim Cindric in the ears of Newgarden. He and Jonathan Duguid, who did originally come from the IndyCar program, they have blended well, and it's working well. And the checkered flag is out for Newgarden, and it's going to be 3rd, so it's just like it was yesterday. Team Penske, 1, 2, 3.
he almost doesn't have to turn. He just sort of wishes it into the corner, and it's fingertip driving to get the thing to arc 90 degrees at 230 plus.
The 25-year-old American, originally from Connecticut, now lives with his wife in Texas. And that helps because he's in the AJ Foyt Racing shop a lot. He gets to see Supertex quite often.
That thing's starting to look a little too free, James, as Ferrucci comes to complete lap 4. He was able to hang on. Is it consistent?
Top 5 for Santino Ferrucci, 232.4.
That we saw from those cars in that first lap. Let's see lap 3, only another 10th off. That's good.
Very impressive.
So he is tracking on an average of a 232.6 at the moment. That's going to put him in the top 5 if Felix Rosenqvist can hang on to this pace. Final lap, first qualifying run.
And this level of performance relative to the field so far feels like where the top 12 bubble performance is going to be.
Yep.
You know, Rosenqvist, Ferrucci, Kyle Kirkwood.
Here we go. Let's have a look how good this is. Yard of bricks, checkered flag, and Felix Rosenqvist goes to the top 5, 232.5 miles an hour. What does lap 3 tell us? 231.9 miles an hour, so about 0.4 of a mile an hour. Bleed off there for Taku as he's on his 4th and final run.
Yeah, the consistency here is really making up for him. I mean, he was not tracking too well with that initial speed, but it kind of keeps going in the right direction for him. He could find himself inside the top 10 if he's able to complete this run without losing too much on the 4th lap.
Should be around about that 8th spot, Hinch, I think. Keeps going in the Armada Honda. Definitely be the highest placed Team RLL Honda.
He has black gloves on, but even through the aero screen, you can tell the steering pretty choppy, like we saw from Christian Lundgaard.
Nice job, young man. Nice job. Let's see. Look at it.
Only 0.4 of a mile an hour bleed off, so pretty good consistency. Diff, as you said, Sato, P9.
232.844, good consistency.
That's that stabilization. You mentioned it on some earlier runs. If you could just get that first lap drop out of the way, if that's as big as it's going to get, you can keep it stable. Alex working the fast jacker. You'd see maybe a little bit of understeer being dialed into the car, or as it approach the car, he's trying to dial that out. Keep it free through 3. Steering looks nice and soft, nice and consistent.
There's going to be a lot of eyes on this run. Being a solo run, Alexander Rossi, really nice work for Arrow McLaren. His Chevy delivers a 232.6. He goes to 4th place. It's now Chevrolet 1, 2, 3, and 4.
P4 right now.
Robin, it's happening. It's real. Kyle Larson has come from the dirt track. He's come from the NASCAR Cup Series track. He's at your track. He's at the Speedway. As Jeff Gordon watches on, he's about to complete his first ever full qualifying run for the Indy 500. The Cup Series champ comes to the line. Kyle Larson slots in to the provisional 12 in 6th place. How about that? 232.5 for Kyle Larson.
Job, Kyle. Very nice. Nice job, Mike, Phil, everyone.
Still good enough to make it. Now that average 232.594 with 1 lap to go. I think it's going to bleed down, though. The trend is suggesting that this last lap might fall into the 231s. I think it'll be close at this point.
Going to be maybe in between Larson and Rosenqvist, around about that 6th, 7th, 8th position.
Either way, a huge improvement and a massive comeback after the issues in their first run this morning.
I think he's going to be all right here.
Yeah. One of the most spectacular drivers to see behind the wheel of an IndyCar. Pato O'Ward comes to the Yard of Bricks, leapfrogs his way to 10th position. He's in the provisional Fast 12.
And that pushes Marcus.
Good job, dude.
That pushes Marcus Armstrong out. He is now provisionally 13th. P10 for Pato O'Ward. That moves Colton Herta now to the bubble.
Up until about this point, about mid-run, that's when the engine issues started to lean in. His mom is praying, eyes closed, hands together, clasped and hoping that things hold together.
Look at this. Is it another 232.6? But that's okay. That monster first lap was enough to put him in the zone and put him in the provisional fast 12. This guy has a habit of starting on the front row at the Indy 500. He's done it the last 3 years in a row. VK is on track to put himself in the fast 12.
He's never started off the first 2 rows of the Indy 500, and even with the drama this morning, he might be shaping up to keep that streak alive, or at least give himself a chance to fight for another.
Diff lap 3 looking strong.
Nice, smooth, awesome job.
Wide open throttle. Is VK still good enough? 231.9. He's got to hang on to lap 4.
It's still good enough at that 232.6. He's going to be in the zone. His wife Carmen is there trackside, nervously watching on. This is a tough young Dutchman hitting the wall, wiping out at his first run this morning. And at the other end of the day, with 30 seconds left on the clock, Rinus VK says, "You want to see what I'm made of? This is what I've got here at the Indianapolis 500 qualifying day. I'm not going to be put off by a crash. I'm going to drive my way into the fast 12. Rinus VK in 11th. He pushes Colton Herter out. VK has another shot at the front row tomorrow.
Oh my God.
Mum and Dad.
Hi folks, Lee Diffie from NBC Sports here. If you truly enjoyed what you just watched, you can get more news, interviews, and highlights by subscribing to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube page. You can get it all, so go for it.